What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Wednesday. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. We seem to be having a nice little pump today. Will it last? We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about all the FUD in the news and what that might mean for Bitcoin. I want to remind you guys there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free. Awesome community, guys. And we're also going to talk about some Black Friday specials going on with some things in crypto space. So definitely stick around, check it out. It's going to be a good video, and let's get into it. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind it's still a speculative market. Do not put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here, you haven't already, hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. That will get you subscribed to the channel. I do daily updates every single day, so make sure you tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post videos. I also do live streams a couple times a week. We're going to talk about the area I'm watching, and I think we need to stay above on the weekly close to remain bullish, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are bearish right now. I still believe this looks a lot like a bull flag. Before we begin, I wanted to talk about the news a little bit. If you look into the news, just, Google Bitcoin news, and right off the bat, you see Bitcoin fell 50% from his 2019 high. Keep calm, hold on. Bitcoin is dead. Ultimate price floor could be destroyed. Blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of FUD in the news, guys. That is like typical right before a bull run. So let's look at what's going on here, and I'll explain where I think we need to be by the end of this week to remain bullish. If you look here on the weekly, this is the BLX chart. This is the 55 EMA. We closed below it, open below it. I believe that we need to close above this 7,900 this week. That would be Sunday, to remain bullish. An open and close below this 55 EMA is bearish. As you can see over here, once we get open and closes below it, we usually have major drops. Now I'm going to look at back here in 2013 or 2012. This looks a lot like what's happening. You can see the 55 EMA here. We had closes below it, but never a candle open and close below it. So we stayed above it, remained bullish, and that began the big bull run. That's what I'm looking for here. As you can see, once we open and close a candle below it, that's bearish, guys. We stay under the 55. Have a hard time getting back above it, just like we did back here. So as long as we can close above the 7,900 here, I think we're going to be in good shape. Let's look at the monthly. Still looking at this as a big bull flag, guys. I do believe there's a good chance that we could break up out of this. And if we did a measured move just off and again, guys, this is off the monthly. So if we did a measured move here and say we broke out next month, which is December, we could be looking at a high of around 18,500, and that doesn't mean we go there this year. Not saying that's not possible either, but probably in the first quarter of next year, if we do break above this flag. Again, guys, there is bearish cases too, and we will take a look at that. Let's look at the weekly. Same thing on the weekly. We've got this falling wedge here that we have been getting support off of the bottom. We'll throw some fibs on here once we get into the daily and see what's going on. But I just wanted to point out that there is another possible low down here at about $5,400. And I know that is possible. We also have in the weekly the 200 EMA down here, which is at the 4,800. But if you look here, guys, we are in this formation here, and our volume has been declining. I do believe if we can break out of the top of this, we'll get some huge volume, and that will be a massive bull run. So let's look at the daily. And as you can see on the daily, we're still ranging in this golden pocket area, which is in between the 0.618 and the 0.65. We've obviously, we dipped below it, wicked below it here, but that was just to test this bottom support line. And as you can see, the EMAs are still crossing bearish, but they have all crossed now. I do believe there's a good possibility that we continue up from here, guys. We are getting back above the 0.618 right now. Let's look at the RSI, see what the RSI is telling us. So on the RSI, we were in this falling channel. We broke out of it, broke back in it, and now it looks to be like we are trying to break back above it. If we get back above this, guys, in the daily, it's going to be extremely bullish. Let's look at the 4-hour. 4-hour RSI, we broke out of this falling wedge right here, and we had been talking about this being an inverse head and shoulders in the RSI, which definitely looks like that's what it was. So we have now, there was a bull flag right here in the RSI. Let's do a measured move off of that real quick. If we took a measured move off that, we could be coming back up into this range, guys, in the 4-hour RSI, which will be bullish. If we do remain going up here, that will bring the daily along with it, and we could break out of that daily wedge. So all right, we've had these targets here. I moved this a little bit just because of what happened here. I do want to point out we got a bounce off of the bigger, looking at the bigger time frame, off the 0.65, right? That's this line right here, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. Right here, we got a bounce off that, and if we did a Fibonacci retracement off of this swing low and this swing high, that also bounced off the 0.618 in this smaller move. So guys, that's pretty damn bullish. Let's zoom in. We also had this bull flag drawn here, or this well, you could call it a bull flag or a descending wedge or descending channel. And if we did a measured move off that channel, that would be measuring the width of this channel here. And if we take it to the top where we broke out, actually this is going to come down a little bit. It's going to be around the 74.35 range, which would also line up with this 55 EMA up here. We are on the 4-hour, and our EMAs seem to be crossing here. So this would be my first target. Second target would be measuring this whole thing as a flagpole. And if we brought it up, to the top where we broke out, that gets us up to the $8,000 range, guys. And remember, I believe we need to close this week above the 7,900 range, and I'll remind you why. If we look at the weekly, the 55 EMA right now is about the 78.80, but if we remain going up, which I do believe we're gonna, get to this 8,000, if we can close above this 55 EMA, I think we're gonna be safe here to remain bullish. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Those are my targets. I do have lower targets here, guys. First off would be this trend line here coming down, and this is the 0.786 retracement, which is the $5,400 area. If we were to come down, I'm going to look at that in the daily. It's easier to judge, and that goes off that dotted trend line I have here. If we were to break down below this trend line, that would be the 0.786 at the $5,400 range. If we got down there, guys, I would expect a huge bounce, and I don't see us going any lower than that. Like I said, it coincides here with the 0.786 and the $5,400 range. But I honestly think we're going to hold on this line here, and we may continue up from here and break this flag. So that's where I'm at with Bitcoin. Let's look at the lower targets. Also, just some measured moves here. If we were to take measured move, if we were to break back down into this channel, we could be going, this lines up with the $6,000 range. That would be a breaking back down from this channel, about 58. But like I said, worst case scenario, 54. Guys, I think we may be going up from here. It's looking pretty damn bullish. We do need to break this 73.78. And like I said, if we can get up to this 74.35, which would be retesting this 55 EMA, We can break above that. Super bullish, guys. The 7,700 is going to be old resistance back here, which we broke up above it, and it will be resistance again once we come to it. So at 7,700 may give us problems after we hit the 74.35. If we do break that, get up to the 77, chances are we come back, test this before continuing up. Like I said, I would like to see a weekly close above 8,000 to remain bullish. All right, let's look at Litecoin. Oh, also, I wanted to point out, TradingView is having a 60% off sale for Black Friday. So definitely check it out. I have a link below if you want to start doing your own charts. And if you don't have a paid version, this is a good time to get it because it's 60% off. Also, Ledger, they are having a 30% off for Black Friday. I also have a link down below. Keep your cryptos safe, guys. Get them off the exchanges. Not your keys, not your crypto. I do have the link for Ledger. I have another link for ELLIPAL. They are also having a sale. You can get the 2 of the wallets plus your keys, your metal mnemonics, which is, I can show you real quick, which is this here, where you can store your private keys, and fireproof, waterproof, that way you don't have to lose them. But anyway, two of the wallets and 2 of those for 300. You save 106 bucks, or if you just get 2 of the wallets, you save 88 bucks. And if you just get 1 of each, you save 48 bucks. So everything's on sale. I do have links down below. Definitely check it out. I also have links down there that you can get some free crypto. They also, all the links down below help the channel out, guys. I do get a little bit of commission off them. So if you want to support the channel, definitely check those out. And there's also some exchange links down there where you can get some free money when you make a deposit. They'll put some extra money in your account. So check those out also. And we're going to look at Litecoin. And we're going to stick with the 4 hour. Actually, we'll look at the daily to look at the RSI first. And if we take a look at the RSI on Litecoin, we had this rising channel here. Bigger in the yellow here, we have the bigger falling channel. Then we have a rising channel here in white. We broke down out of it, which I believe to be a bear trap, and now we're back inside of it. Let's look at the 4 hour. And in the 4 hour, we had this falling channel here. We had been playing with the top resistance line. We finally broke through. It's looking pretty bullish, guys. Let's zoom in here. All right, I'm going to show you the measured moves off of this real quick. This here, looking at this, the thicker white lines here as a falling broadening wedge. I know I was talking about this being an inverse head and shoulders, which is still possible. The measurement comes out to be about the same with that. Let me line this up. All right, so a measured move with the break of that, guys, is going to get us around, move this up a little bit, 52.88 range. But I also have this, let me zoom in a little bit, get that RSI out of there. I also have this rising channel here. And if we just did a measured move of that, that would get us up to around the 52, right around the $50 range. That would get us above the 55 EMA. I do see us probably getting some resistance here around the 49-45 range. But all in all, guys, it still looks pretty bullish. Like I said, we've already wicked through this line. If we can get some support above it, it should be pretty bullish for us. This does look like a bear trap here. But I do have lower targets if we are to continue back down here. The first point of support would be around this $43 range. Now if we took a measured move, which I have here, of the bull flag or the flagpole, if we looked at this as a bull flag, but a drop below that, will get us down to around this $40 range, which also would line up with this bottom trend line here. And that would be towards the end of this month if we do continue down. So keep an eye on that. And that's the same thing with Bitcoin. That would be all around the same time, right around the last day or two of November. But if we do that, I would expect a huge bounce from here, guys. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Litecoin. Those are my targets and what I'm looking at. I am biased to the upside here. As long as we can get support above this line, which is going to be around the $47 range. If we can get a support Above the $47 range in Litecoin, I'm looking at these targets up here. Let's go into Ethereum. So on Ethereum, same type thing. Let's go into the daily, look at the RSI real quick. On Ethereum, we had this falling channel that we were watching, and we formed a rising channel here, which we fell down out of. We came down to the oversold, got a nice bounce. Can we get back in this? That's going to be the question. Let's look at the 4 hour. That'll give us some more of a clue to where we're at. And we are in this falling channel here. We had a bear trap down here out of that. Same thing, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum all had this inverted head and shoulders on the RSI. Now, the question is, if we can get above this on the 4 hour, if we can break out of this channel, guys, that's going to be pretty damn bullish. That will also break out of here. And we will be looking at my higher targets. We'll look at those first. And we'll take a look at the bearish case. Looking at this as a, zoom in. Looking at this here, this top blue line, bottom white line here as the channel, which we have cracked above it. The measured move off that, guys, is around the 150. Actually, it's up a little bit. Around the 156. So that would be the target if we break up out of this, the first target. Second target being a measured move. If you look at these blue lines, it looks like a falling, broadening wedge. And the higher target off of that would be right around the 171 range, which also would line up with the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. I do believe that is pretty possible, guys. As long as we can break above the 148.70 area and get support, we should be good. Now the lower targets I would be looking at are, actually this is going to be down a little bit lower, around the 133 range would be the measured move if we broke down out of this channel here. It'd be 133. And the worst case out of this would be measuring this as the flagpole. This is the bull flag, which would get us the same, right in the same area as the other measured move of the wedge. But if we were to break down, guys, that could get us as low as around the 120 range. Which would line up with these bottom wicks here. I have this trend line drawn across. Let me move it a little bit. And that would get us down to the $120 range, which would also be at the end of November. So guys, depending on what happens here, if we do go down, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum's lows would be down here. Ethereum would be around 120. I would expect a huge bounce from there. I also have a lower target down here at 107, and that was just a measured move of the break out of this channel here. We had a big channel drawn in here. I'm not really paying attention to that right now, but that would also get us down to the bottom of this channel here. But like I said, I'm looking at if we remain bearish here and can't get back above this trend line, 120 is my worst case target towards the end of November on Ethereum, and then a bounce from there. Litecoin would be around the $40 range the end of November, and Bitcoin would be, let me go into the daily. Bitcoin would be around the 5,400 for the worst case scenario. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. Don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. Awesome stuff in there. T-shirts, beer koozies, coffee mugs, aluminum signs, hats. You can put any crypto you want. This makes great Christmas gifts and another good way to support the channel. You can put anything you want on there, any crypto, any family pictures, any sayings, anything you want. Just hit her up in the contact. There's also hoodies and keychains and some other stuff. If you hit her up, she'll let you know. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to click the CryptoSavy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, and I am out of here.